Avoiding internet scams. When was a website created? The website google.com was first registered on September 15th, 1997. In this presentation, we'll learn how to look up similar information. In this presentation, you will learn how to look up when websites were first registered for website addresses that are commonly used in the United States. Like other information on my website, you don't have to learn this material from me, but you do need to learn this material from somewhere. I will put in this video's description the website addresses that will be used as tools in this presentation. I have no affiliation with either of the websites that this video will present. Let's jump to how to look up the information, then you can decide whether to view the rest of the video for a more detailed explanation. There are several different websites that we could use. For this presentation, we will use the following: https://lookup.icann.org. And here we're going to type google.com just to use a website as a point of reference that people are familiar with. Okay, we can scroll through. I might do another presentation in the future on all this information, but for right now, for this presentation, what I would like you to focus on is this line here towards the bottom, created 1997, September 15th. And now we're going to do the same research a different way. Here we're going to use https://www.whois.com/whois. And here again, we're going to enter Google just to use a website that people are familiar with. And what I want you to see here, two things I want you to see here. Registered on 1997, September 15th. No big surprise. That's the same as what we've seen elsewhere. The other useful thing that I want you to see is here towards the top where I've highlighted. For this website, when we do this research, it's going to add the website to the address of this website. So now if you're trying to convince a friend or a coworker that the site that they're looking at is a scam, you can copy paste this address and this will come up. So for Google's been around a surprisingly long amount of time in some form. And this address was registered on 1997, September 15th. A scam website might be a year or two old. Sometimes it might even be weeks or even just a few days old. So that can be critical information that can help you convince a friend, coworker, family member that some website that has unrealistic claims is a scam. I presented two of the many ways to look up website registration information. https://lookup.icann.org. Not for profit. Website address is difficult to remember until you've used it several times. Fairly plain layout. https://www.whois.com/whois. For profit. Users do not pay to search for address ownership information, but there are other services that would be paid for. Website address is easy to remember, or at least easier to remember. Somewhat fancier layout. Adds website you're researching to address so you can email or text to a friend. What icann.org labeled as created, whois.com labeled as registered on. In addition to the points on the previous slide, www.whois.com/whois provides information for some top-level domains that lookup.icann.org does not. So why did I take up your time demonstrating lookup.icann.org? I went over more than one source of website registration information because I wanted you to see the same underlying information presented differently, and I did not want this presentation to appear to simply be an advertisement for www.whois.com/whois. What is a top-level domain? Please view the rest of this video and I'll at least touch on that. Be extremely careful when entering addresses in order to check website registration information. Among the tricks that scammers employ is creating scam websites with website addresses so close to those of legitimate websites that you might unconsciously type the name of a legitimate website when you're looking up registration information. Does that mean you should copy-paste an address from a suspect email or internet advertisement? No, there are significant issues with that approach. Clicking on a scam email or advertisement may send a message to the scammer server that the message or advertisement has been seen. The more you interact with the scam email or scam ad, the greater the chance of the email or advertisement loading malware on your device. The text displayed may not be where the underlying link would send you. Okay, for the purpose of this presentation, website addresses are the addresses you ordinarily use on the internet. IP addresses are instead just digits, no letters. I'd like to offer the following analogy with which to bootstrap your knowledge of this material. Think of a website address such as www.google.com as a vehicle's license plate. Think of the code on a website as being the actual vehicle. Think of the IP address of the web server hosting a website as the vehicle's VIN number. A far from perfect analogy, since the IP address website maps to can change, but your car's VIN number cannot. Still, the point is that while I was creating this presentation, I asked several friends whether they knew their car's license plate numbers. Most did. I did not ask any friends whether they could recite their car's vehicle identification numbers from memory, but I strongly doubt that any of them could have. A license plate allows law enforcement to easily identify a vehicle. A website allows potential visitors to easily navigate to a website. A radio or television advertisement would need to be very compelling in order to convince listeners or viewers to take note of a phone number. In contrast, a website address can possibly be far easier to remember. But wait, what about when instead of announcing a phone number's digits, a radio or television advertiser comes up with a word or words using the letters that are on your phone number's numeric keypad? That is essentially what happens automatically when you enter a web address. Instead of each letter mapping to a specific digit, when you enter a website address, your computer connects to a database on the internet to look up the IP address for the website that you entered. Just as an address on a physical envelope has different sections, so does a website address. If you remember, several slides back, we looked up the registration information for google.com using www.whois.com/whois. After we found the information, the website address changed from www.whois.com/whois to www.whois.com/whois/google.com. Below is the meaning of each piece, going from general to most specific. Com, top-level domain. Whois, to the left of the .com, the domain. www, subdomain. Whois, to the right of the .com, functions like a directory. Google.com functions like a parameter. Okay, within the next several weeks, I'll be posting a dedicated detailed presentation on this slide. The better you understand this information, the easier it will be for you to avoid internet scams. So again, if this slide wasn't enough, if it wasn't helpful, or if it was even outright confusing, that's fine. We'll be revisiting this information later. Think of the research we did at the beginning of this presentation as going to the Department of Motor Vehicles and asking when a license plate was first issued. We researched when Google.com was registered. For Google.com, the top-level domain is .com. Here in the United States, we commonly use websites whose top-level domain is one of .com, .net, .org, and .edu. You should be able to look up the registration date for website addresses that use one of the above 4 top-level domains using www.whois.com/whois. Residents of the United States might also interact with the following top-level domains: .gov for government, .mil for military. You will not be able to look up the initial registration dates for those top-level domains using the websites that this video has presented. If you are interacting with a .mil top-level domain, hopefully you have undergone more security training than I can present in a 15-minute video. People outside the US will likely be familiar with their own country's top-level domain. In addition to the top-level domains for individual countries, there are numerous other top-level domains. Among them is the .vip top-level domain. There may be completely legitimate organizations that use the .vip top-level domain, but I have not come across one yet. If you view this presentation through to the end, you will learn that there is also a .horse top-level domain. In addition to the .gov and .mil top-level domains, you may encounter other top-level domains whose websites have limited registration information. Often, those will be top-level domains intended for audiences outside the United States. However, scammers might use them, so beware. A website address having been registered many years ago does not guarantee that a website is legitimate. However, new scam websites are being created much faster than legitimate businesses are. A website address having been registered recently does not outright guarantee that a website is a scam, but I'm taking a guilty until proven innocent approach when deciding whether I should consider entering my credit card number or other personal information on a website. Combining your knowledge of researching website registrations with seeing implausible claims on a website can be valuable tools you can use to explain to a friend or relative that some website is a scam. If registration information is not available, be even more vigilant than usual. This presentation was adapted from my website, therationalconsumer.com. That's a long URL to type, especially on mobile devices, so I've created the URL http://trc.credit that will redirect to the main site. trc.credit, not trc.com, not trc.net, not trc.org, not trc.horse. Actually, http://trc.horse in many browsers' address boxes will get you to my site. If you're on your work network or VPN, it might not like using the trc.credit redirect. In that case, either type the full therationalconsumer.com or use a non-work device. The end. Understanding how to look up website registration information is knowledge that can help you avoid internet scams. I will have updates and clarifications on my website, and eventually we'll have additional videos posted. https://therationalconsumer.com. To be redirected to the site above with fewer keystrokes, http://trc.credit, just credit at the end, no.com. Hopefully people will use the information that I've provided, but I may be running a long con on myself if I think I can actually make a difference.